Hey everybody, it's Cruise with Matt. Really wanted to give you an update on what my first few days was like on the ship. Basically, once I got into my cabin, I had to unpack and get situated so it's livable. Even though this isn't my permanent cabin, I still need access to all of my things. So everything is put away as if I actually live in this cabin, but it won't take long to move because I didn't bring that much stuff. The first 3 days that we're on the ship, and that goes for everybody, not just medical people, we are in a soft quarantine at this time, which basically means for the first 3 days that we're on the ship, we're either in our cabins or we're at work. I basically had to eat all my meals in the cabin, and for some people it's probably a little more, if you want to call it prison-like, depending on what their job is like. Being part of the medical team, we actually have to go out on the ship and do things. And on my second day, 2 of the doctors took me on a tour of the ship, more so I could see what all the medical equipment that is scattered around the ship looks like and where it's located. But it also gave me a chance just to see the ship and look out over the ocean a little bit too. So I at least got to get out of the dungeon of the innards of the ship, where some of the people probably didn't get to do that until after their 3rd day. I've worked with a bunch of really nice people already, and they've been real helpful in getting me situated. And I've had to do some safety training, both classroom as well as online type training. Some other training that I had to do for the medical facility online, as well as learning how to use all the lab equipment and take x-rays and things of that sort that are not normally part of a paramedic scope, but things that I will be doing on board the ship. But it really has been a great onboarding experience. Then got cleared day before yesterday, but it was midday, and we were in a port, but I just got pictures from outside. I didn't get off the ship. That's when we were in Guernsey. No, that was the first day. We were actually in Ireland at that point, but I didn't get off the ship in Ireland this time. But next time we're in Ireland, I'll get off. The next day we were in Greenock, Scotland, which was yesterday, which is the port that the cruise ships come into to go to Glasgow. I did get off the ship for a few hours, which was really nice, and took a little walk yesterday and climbed up a hill so I could have a panoramic view of the port and the town. And just the weather was absolutely gorgeous compared to back home where it's really hot. I think it was 71 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday compared to the over 100 back home. So I'm definitely enjoying the weather. Then after my few hours on shore, one of the things that I'm planning to do is each time I'm in a new port, this may be somewhat because of my first responders history, I'm going to collect patches from all the places that I visit. So I was able to locate me a patch back near the cruise terminal, and then eventually got back on the ship. Definitely doing a lot more walking than I used to. Counting the walk in town, I walked over 9 miles yesterday, and the equivalent of about 44 flights of stairs. But I'm walking considerably more than I've been doing in a while, just because it's a very active position, just to be able to move around the ship, going up and down stairs, etc. Another really cool thing is my sports watch tracks my stress level, and I'm finding that since I've been on the ship, my stress level is about 1/3 less than it was for the weeks leading up to this change in my life. So I guess I'm much more relaxed in this environment, and that's a good thing for my health. Another really cool thing is good for your health is actually I'm sleeping about 2 hours more a night on average, and if you'd say, I mean, you don't feel much movement of the ship, but when I lay down in the bed, sometimes you can feel a little gentle rocking motion. And not that I've ever really had a hard time falling asleep, but I think I understand why when you rock a baby they fall asleep, because it is relaxing. Then food, I can eat in the crew mess, and as an officer I can also eat in the guest areas as well, and I've done both. And the food in the crew area is not bad, and for my keto lifestyle, I mean, I've gotten meat and vegetables, and they have a salad bar which I haven't used yet, but so I mean, I'm not going to have a problem finding something to eat. But I have eaten upstairs in the crew in the guest areas a couple times, and we get a view when we eat in the guest restaurants, where the crew mess has no windows, so it's no view. But like I said, the food, you have lots of food choices down there, which I haven't had a chance to try them all. But I mean, as time goes on, I'll try different restaurants and I'll try different foods, because there's around 60 different nationalities of people on the ship, and so in the crew mess they do provide foods of different cuisines to try to accommodate the different tastes of what people are used to eating, so they don't have to completely adjust to a different way of eating. First time I was in there, I actually ate off the sort of Asian buffet, and so I had a couple different Asian type meats, and I had a few pieces of cheese and things with it to make it a little more Western, and then they had egg drop soup, so I had a little bit of that, and still kept it keto friendly. I mean, there was a little bit of sauce on the proteins, but I was able to wipe most of that off, so I don't think I had a lot of carbs from that meal. This morning I actually tried the breakfast upstairs in the guest area, and it was nice to have someone make me an omelet and have a few breakfast meats with it. But I'm not always going to have someone make the order omelet. I mean, some scrambled eggs with cheese. They actually have some smoked salmon, so I mean, there's things I can do to change up breakfast. But the nice thing in the restaurants is they do have brewed coffee, where in the medical facility we have instant coffee. I mean, the instant coffee is not terrible, but brewed coffee is still better, so it gives me a chance to have a couple cups of brewed coffee before I go to work, which is what I did this morning. And then they have to-go cups, and so I took one more cup with me so I could bring it to work. It's actually midday here, because I actually work a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the afternoon and have time off in between. So I was up on deck earlier today when my break time came, and because it's about a 5-hour break between the morning hours and the afternoon hours, and figured make some phone calls, do some picture uploads on Facebook, and now that I've come back to my cabin, I figured it's time to knock out these videos and give you guys something more than my introductory video. But that's what my first few days are like, and I'll think of other topics to talk about, but that just gave you a good overview of what my first few days are like. So thank you for visiting Cruise with Matt, and please subscribe so that way you can keep up with my adventures, as well as what it's actually like to work on a cruise ship. You may have questions if you're considering this as a career, or even if it's just a short-term thing. Some people do it just for a couple years of their life, not call it a career, but I've already met some people that have been working on these ships for 15 years. So it can be a career choice, but it's also a lifestyle choice. So again, Cruise with Matt, subscribe today. Y'all have a great day.